the teenager Jet Lawrence may be from Australia, but he's certainly at home at Fox Raceway. From mingling with the fans to dominating on the track, the defending champ and his Honda were the story of round one. The 250 Championship now heads to historic Hangtown and begins a fun-filled afternoon of live motocross on MAV TV.
It's round two of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship for 2022, sanctioned by MRPRO Racing, the Carson City Motorsports Hangtown Classic. So we're in Northern California today. Last week we were in Southern California. A banner day for Team Honda. They dominated all the races, including the 250 class. Jet Lawrence takes the victory, and for good measure, his brother Hunter finished second in both of our races behind him. So a little bit of history there. We're going to talk some history today. Welcome to Hangtown. Jason Wygant, joined by the six-time AMA National Motocross Champ, the Golden Boy, Brock Glover. If you're going to have 50 years of motocross racing, it's perfect to roll through Hangtown.
Absolutely. For me, you can't talk about the Pro Motocross national history without mentioning Hangtown. Established in 1974, it's one of our original OG nationals, and it's just amazing to be here.
It's come a long, long way. They actually used to race in a small piece of property far away. We moved here. It's a banner facility to have for round two. Let's talk specifically 250s. What are you looking for there?
Well, in 250 class, other than the Lawrence brothers show, we've got Joe Shimoda, finished a really respectable third place last week, and I expect him to continue with that top pace. One thing we got to see is the Yamaha team step it up a little bit. Justin Cooper didn't have his best round. He looks pretty fast today. But the other story here is the two local boys. You got Max Volan on the KTM and also Michael Moseman on the Gas. And so they looked really good in qualifying, so I expect to see the best out of those two riders.
Motocross racing in Hangtown predates the birth of the Nationals. However, since 1974, the track known as Hangtown has been a fixture on the Pro Motocross schedule. A who's who of American motocross royalty has competed on this sacred ground. Coming up, a new breed of American racing heroes will line up and race for glory at Hangtown.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive. General Tire. For whatever you do, General Tire delivers. And by Honda, celebrating 50 years of off-road dominance.
American service members stationed on U.S. Navy ships at sea and in more than 170 countries overseas, they are watching today's motocross broadcast live on the AFN American Forces Network. Certainly, we salute your service. Back here at Hangtown getting ready for a 250 Moto. This should be exciting, Brock, once we get underway.
Oh, I'm really excited. I mean, last week we saw, interesting a banner day for Honda, no question about it. To have the Lawrence brothers go 1-2 in both motos, and then backed it up with Sexton and Roxton in the 450. But, everybody regathered themselves, and they're going to come out swinging.
Okay, let's give you an inside look at the track, courtesy of the MX versus ATV Legends track match. Michael Moseman and Pierce Brown will talk about it.
I'd say the most challenging part of racing Hangtown would be just how gnarly the track gets at the end of the day. It just gets super broken down. Ruts are to your handlebars basically, and it's a man's track for sure. It's just survival out there.
Ooh, quick lap at Hangtown. Man, I think it takes a real balance between aggression and patience. And there's a lot to that track, and there's a lot of nuances, and you kind of know your lines and hit your marks. And also it goes from kind of deep and loamy to really hard packed kind of really quickly, and so you got to know where you can trust for traction, where you can't. And it takes just precision, and it takes commitment, and it takes trust in your bike, and man, it takes so much, honestly. But a lot of that, we've been doing so many laps, it begins to come naturally. So yeah, maybe that's what it takes. It takes 100,000 hours on a dirt bike.
We get the good comments there from both of the Troy League Designs Gas riders. I mean, Michael Moseman has a lot of laps at this track. He's going to be comfortable there. But Pierce Brown also mentioned how deep the ruts get. And today's conditions are perfect, overcast skies, and the track is loamy, and I expect it just to be near perfect conditions.
All right, we'll find out firsthand. Let's send it to the third member of our broadcast team. Jason Thomas is trackside.
Normally, Justin Cooper's favorite number is 32. After all, it's the number he chose to be his permanent racing number. Ironically enough, it's also the number of points he finds himself down after round 1. Now, all is not lost. There is some good news here. He was your fastest qualifier here this morning by quite a bit. Also, he went 1-1 at this round last year in 2021, and he's never finished outside the top 5 at this racetrack in his entire career. So he's going to be leaning on that Hangtown expertise all day long if he wants to make up any points on Jet Lawrence.
Good math and well played on the numbers game, JT. Yes, he was fastest qualifier, but he did it in the first session. He was not fastest in the second, so we'll have to see how that turns out for the 32. Now time for the KTM keys to the Moto. It's pretty simple at this track, Brock. What do you need to do?
Get a good start. That's it right there. And then obviously beat the Lawrence brothers. And we'll see what happens. And Justin Cooper is a great starter.
Yes, he is a great starter, and that's literally what the team said. Jeremy Coker, the team manager for Cooper over there at the Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing team, said, we have to beat Jet in at least one moto today. 32 points, already a big hole. They cannot afford to make it worse.
And then going to round 2 being 32 points in the hole is just, that's terrible.
You can see, look at the front number plate of the 47 of Seth Hamaker. There was a little bit of rain dropping here about 10 minutes ago, and you can see a little bit of mud on the front of that, so that might change things a little bit.
Yeah, somebody got a little roost on his number plate there, maybe the parade lap, but the point is right now that number 1 right next door there with the number red background, that's the one that counts, and we got the 30-second card up already.
Oh, we are ready. Yes, Fly Racing 30-second card is up. We're ready. There'll be a 30-minute race plus 2 laps, 40 riders on the gate. We'll have 4 straight hours of live motocross coverage coming your way here on MAV TV. This is 250 Moto 1. Next hour, we'll have our 450 class. Yep, can anybody stop the Lawrence brothers? That's the name of the game after they went 1-2 at the first race of the year. 10 seconds away from gate drop. Here it is, revs are up. Gates down. And it's one of the Yamahas is Justin Cooper. Oh, you said he's a good starter. This is exactly what he needed. And he's got the 31. How about that? Right with him, Jalek Swoll. It was a game-time decision if he'd even be able to race after a crash last week. He's right with him. Jet Lawrence battling around 4th place.
Yeah, that's just the start Justin Cooper needed. And again, he's known for that, and no question about it. And Jalek Swoll, he finds himself in a little better position than he was. But in 3rd place right now, number 29, Michael Mosman, local boy from up Northern California.
Yeah, Mosman almost came together with Jet Lawrence. That pushed Jet Lawrence back. A couple of riders like Hamaker there in the 47 also getting around. Hamaker, a big surprise. Real speed last week, and he's in it today, Brock.
He is, absolutely. And he had the fastest qualifier last week, was surprised most of the field to lead off the season with that. And he's right up front again.
Okay, so let's see what Swoll can do coming back from injury. Got landed on in a crash early in our first moto last week. Talk about Mosman there in the 29. This is his home track. He's comfortable. This is the opportunity these riders need to try to get points back on the Honda band, who've got some work to do. Hunter Lawrence is 9th. Jet is 7th.
Yeah, the Lawrence brothers didn't quite get the starts they did last week, but Hunter Lawrence, that's one thing he's going to have to improve on over the season there. He's just, come around at 9th, 10th, 7th. That's not going to cut it. He's going to need to get some hole shots.
Okay, so Justin Cooper under fire here. He's got Swoll with him, and now nice move on the inside here by Mosman.
Yeah, Mosman, he's definitely running hard right here, and he knows this terrain. He knows the track very, very well. A little patience is not a bad thing early in a moto. You definitely don't need to run into the back of another rider and go down. Going on the ground, you can throw the whole race away on the very first lap.
Okay, so we'll see how he plays it. Swoll still there in 2nd of the Rockstar Husqvarna. Mosman, that's a new section.
Absolutely. Yep. That's a new section that they've really, during the week, they talked about trying to really target that 2-minute lap time. That's the ultimate number that they're looking for just for the whole layout. The AMA Pro Motocross officials were looking for that 2-minute number, and they figured a way right there just to cut the section out of the track, get it at that 2-minute number.
And added a new jump in there as well. So great battle between Swoll and Mosman here at the end of lap 1, with Hamaker right there with him. And then you see Nick Romano, a rookie, is 5th. Jet Lawrence right behind him.
I'll bet Nick Morano was able to actually take a breath this time. Last week with second moto, he got the whole shot in his first pro race ever. And, he was a Team Dunlop Elite rider, so I actually got to watch him come up from literally the 50cc bikes all the way to turn pro last week. So it's very fun having worked at Dunlop so long, and it was fun to watch. Ooh, a little contact, good pass by Mosman there.
Almost.
See, almost. Now he's opening the door for Hamaker. He's going to have to be careful not to let the let Seth get by him here, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, that was tough on the off-camber. Swole lost the back end for a minute, and that's going to give Mosman an opening.
Oh,
wow.
Wow.
What happened there?
He just nailed that outside rut. It had a little hook in the end, and suspension bottomed out, recoiled, and boy, you saw him shoot all the way across the track. Both he and Hammaker are lucky they weren't a little closer. That could have collected them both.
And as they slowed each other up, you can see Romano and both Lawrences right there as well. As we watch Swole, we'll go back and show you hard exit into this corner. Watch on the lower left side.
Yeah, you can see right here Michael Mosman knew there was the outside berm there, but it looked like it maybe was pushed further deep into the ground there than he expected. Hooked him back across the track. Just about took each other out.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, luckily you escaped there. So that allows Swole to hold on to that number 2 spot. Mosman trying to come back after him. It's fantastic racing. And you can see the wind has picked up here. Yeah, the dust being blown across.
Yeah, we have rain in the forecast for tomorrow, and right now I think there's a little bit of a front moving in, so we're starting to get some wind across these plains in the eastern side of Sacramento, and this could play a factor.
Oh, yeah. Okay, it's temporarily settled down behind them. You had Mosman and Hammaker almost together. Put a few bike lengths between Mosman and Hammaker now. Gotta give credit to Jalek Swole. Crashed out of last week's race. A couple of days ago, they weren't even sure if he could ride. And not only is he riding, but he's in second place.
And not only in second place, but he's keeping Justin Cooper, who's got a lot of speed, as we all talk about. He's keeping within a few seconds here. And Michael Mosman, again, we talked about local rider. He knows how to get around this track. He knows where to pass and where not to. And Jalek is just doing a great job keeping him behind him.
Well, yeah, Mosman's taking a few shots at it. A couple of times we thought he had the pass made, and then the lines come together.
They do, no question about it. So as early part, that's the one thing you find a little bit in the early part of the first motos. Not all the ruts and the lines have developed, so the track gets to be a little bit more one line as the day develops on. They'll get more lines. But here we see Jet Lawrence, and we get a little rain on the camera lens there.
Yeah, and Ryder's going to have to deal with that. So now Romano, the rookie out of New York, on the 411, dealing with Jet Lawrence. This would be for 5th and 6th. And then there's Hunter Lawrence right there behind him. Also on the Team Honda HRC machine. Behind them you got Hampshire, Drake, and the other local boy, Max Folan, rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, this whole group of riders here in the top 10 are honestly within the same maybe 4-second range, 5-second range. So, and this is just what Hunter probably honestly needed. I mean, Hunter knows Jet very well. He's comfortable riding with him, I'm sure. And this is right here ahead of Romano's holding up Jet just enough to let Hunter catch up and get on the back fender of his brother.
Now Jet makes the move here, scrubbing that jump, and gets around Romano. That'll move him into 5th, right behind Hammaker. Let's send it down to Jason Thomas. We've got a lot of historic figures here at Hangtown today, JT.
Now I am with a true master of all things motorcycling. Steve Wise, you've won on just about every kind of motorcycle there is, and you're here celebrating the 50th anniversary of American Motocross. We're really happy to have you here. What do you think so far?
Well, I think it's great. It's neat to see how motorcycle racing and motocross has really grown and expanded in the world. And seeing this facility is just unbelievable and beautiful. So it's great to be here.
Yeah, we're thankful. I mean, this is a great day. We're getting a little rain here, but talk about how much has changed since your time. The sport keeps evolving. These guys keep getting better and better. It's a pretty amazing thing.
Well, of course, the motorcycles have made tremendous advancement. But the thing that I don't like is I've gone to 30-minute motos, and we used to ride 45-minute motos. So 30 minutes it would have been a lot better for me. But anyway, it's great. It's just great to see how the sport has grown, and not only just in the motorcycle world, but all over the world as far as every other facility and things like that.
That was just fantastic interview. Great to see Steve Wise come out from Texas here. Steve was a good rider in the 70s in nationals. I raced with him many, many times. After he got done with his motocross career, he transferred over to Class C, as we called it, where road racing and dirt track area. And he was the only rider, I think, in American history to ever win a motocross, MRPRO motocross race and an American road race.
Yeah, that's unbelievable, the versatility. That's really what stakes his claim when you think about the history of the sport. Good to have some dignitaries like that on hand. We switched to today's stars. Seth Hammaker making a name for himself. Believe it or not, it's only the 5th pro motocross race for Hammaker, who's been beset by injuries and illness in the last 2 summers. But he's riding like a veteran right now. Oh, hey, Romano, he had to deal with Jet Lawrence, and Hunter doesn't want to mess around. He wants to follow his brother through, so here's your battle.
And you talk about this, Jason, right here. You see Romano. We saw him last week get the whole shot, but it wasn't too long until he started moving back. He's stepped up one more level or one more gear right here this week to me, and he's keeping these top 2 contenders at bay, and he's riding really well.
And they've also got RJ Hampshire in the mix now in 8th. To see him Oh, and Jet looking for an opening on Hamaker. Almost ran into the back of him.
Yep, we're starting to see those ruts develop, as you can see on camera right now.
There goes Hunter.
Yep.
So Hunter made the move. These downhills are key, and that's where he made the pass.
Yep, carry a lot of momentum down there. The first thing your brain's telling you to shut off, but the more you shut off, the more weight is shifted to the front of the motorcycle. It actually almost makes it worse. If you can keep yourself on a little bit of throttle, even maybe drag the rear brake a little bit, you can keep the bike going straight and not battling the edges of the ruts.
That's good stuff, Brock. And I'll tell you one guy who's got it dialed. Justin Cooper is now starting to pull away. And it started here. Hey, what'd you say the KTM key to the Moto was?
Get the whole shot.
Yep. So here it is, our motosport.com whole shot replay. And this is how Justin Cooper made it happen. Looks like it's going to be Drake on the inside of one of those Suzukis at first. But then Cooper was able to get it done. Swole right there. Almost edged him out.
Yep. Hats off to the crew. I mean, that's a newly designed first corner, meaning it was pulled in a little bit, probably 10, 15 feet on the inside, just to change it, decrease the radius a little bit, let the riders flow through there, and then it keeps the crashes down to a minimum.
Yeah, we were clean through that first turn there. Battle for second has not changed. As we check it out, it's still Swole, and Moseman's still trying to figure out a way around.
I think Moseman's saying, hey, Jalik, don't you know I'm a local guy here? You're supposed to not be holding me off this well. But, hey, Jalik from Florida, and he's riding this place like he's born and raised here.
Yeah, so good comeback for Jalik. The problem is, as they battle, you can see Cooper's getting away.
Yeah, it's just sneaking away just a bit, but it's not as much as I actually expected. It's only just now a 3-second lead, but it almost looks like it's come down a little bit from that. That was the time that we see it coming past this, start-finish line.
Yeah, it's not like then Swole is holding everybody up. He is holding his own against the pace of your leader, Cooper. And Moseman is trying everything, man. He's been outside, inside, all over this place to make the move.
He's throwing the kitchen sink at him, no question about it. And this little roller section right here, he looked like he had a little bit of pace there, but he just ran out of it before the corner, and you can't push it. He's got to stay on the track and stay on his bike.
Let's get an update on the 31 Swole. We got his team manager up in the tower with Jason Thomas.
Really tough weekend last year, and nice bounce back so far, right? Gets a great start, running out front. I didn't even know if he was going to race today. This has to be a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, last weekend was a tough one, first moto to go down, and, he rehabbed it this week with Dr. Nick, and, he's feeling pretty good. We put him on the bike on Thursday, and it was an easy decision to get out here, and, I told him he'll think about his shoulder a lot less if he gets a good start, so that's what he did. Super happy to see him out there. He's riding really good, so we got to keep these Husqvarnas up front.
All right, that's good stuff. Swole, game time decision up in the podium spots.
How is it having a manager like that? Nathan Ramsey, obviously pro circuit rider, then factory Honda rider. First rider on a Honda 4-stroke to ever win a Supercross main event. He won at Pontiac, Michigan. And, have somebody with that much, experience and knowledge to be your team manager. These guys are fortunate young riders.
Yeah, Swole taking the lessons there. This battle continues. Seth Hamaker not taking any gruff from your defending series champ. And now that Hunter Lawrence has dispatched of Romano, he's catching back up to Jet Lawrence.
You got to wonder a little bit what's going through, Jet's head a little bit. Or maybe not, and Hunter, they won with relative ease last week, to be honest with you. They had a, comfortable race. Here they come with a lot of confidence, thinking, okay, we got this thing pretty well figured out. We're well into the Moto now. I mean, we're 12 minutes into the Moto, and they're still battling around for 5th and 6th place. So you wonder if they're a bit surprised.
Yeah, and not panic time, but they're definitely not overwhelming these guys. I mean, he has been behind Hamaker for several laps now. And look at Hunter sneaking in there. And Hamaker starting to catch Swole. So you almost get the feeling that something's going to change here, but just which direction is it going to go? 4-rider battle.
Well, they're certainly trying to mix it up, and that's a good move right there by Jet going outside in. He's got a lot of speed coming up this hill. Let's see if he can carry it all the way around for the pass.
Going to be a long way around for the number 1. Can he get a good drive out of this exit? He does.
Yeah, that was a pass. We talk about nowadays in motocross, especially since the 4-stroke has been introduced, it almost takes 2 or 3 corners in a row in repetition to be able to set up a pass. It doesn't just happen instantaneously. And I don't know, most of them got by Swole. And now he's getting by Justin
yeah,
Cooper.
Something has changed here. We'll find out the lap times next time around to see if Cooper had a problem and maybe had a bad lap. So just like that, we've got the local product. Said it's his home track, leading the way.
Now he's got some free, clear air ahead of him, and he's just going to be putting his ears back and going as fast as he can.
Listen to this crowd. They have realized that their favorite son has taken over the lead. Michael Moseman. JT, what are you hearing on the 29?
Well, this is his home track, as you mentioned, and this is one of the first places I ever saw him ride. I was watching Amateur Day several years ago, and he was going so fast on Amateur Day that I left the pro pits and came down here and watched him. So to see him out here leading this race, he's only 90 miles from his hometown, has to be a great feeling.
Thanks, JT. It's both things happen. Moseman just put in the best lap of anyone in this moto with a 2:09, as you see Jet Lawrence setting up the pass here on Swole. So Moseman went from 2:12 to 2:09, but Cooper was turning 2:11s. He just turned to 2:14. So Cooper lost time. Moseman gained it. It was a 5-second differential on that lap alone, and that's allowing Moseman to pull away. But it looks like Jet Lawrence starting to make some moves here.
Yes, I mean, that was an impressive lap by Moseman. I mean, a 2:09, that's 2 seconds faster than anyone's turned this whole race so far, and he did it nearly midway through the race.
And starting to open up a gap on Cooper. Now we are questioning Cooper's overall fitness. Lost almost 5 months of riding with a foot injury that took him out of Monster Energy AMA Supercross. Never even had a chance to race it. So we're wondering if the 30-minute distance is there for Cooper. Is he getting tired, or was that just a mistake? A couple more laps and we'll figure it out. Swole, he's been under pressure this entire moto. Now he's dealing with Hunter Lawrence.
Yeah, and right now it looks like Jet's on a little bit of a roll. He's within 3.5 seconds of the leader, Michael Moseman, and that's not what you want to see if you're in the gas camp.
No, Hunter's going with him as well. So right now it is Moseman, Cooper, Lawrence, Swole, and the other Lawrence. And that's the battle you're watching right now. Hunter's going to try to squeeze around the outside.
Yeah, Jalik's not going to give it up easily, but I tell you, Hunter looks really, really smooth. Good line selection, just good position on the bike. If you watch him, he looks very comfortable.
Halfway through this one, 15 minutes down, 15 minutes to go. You can save 15% or more on your motorcycle insurance by calling Geico. Hunter Lawrence just barely able to get to the top of that new step-up jump. Shout out to Seth Hamaker, who's still hanging with him. You can see him right behind. There he is. But the question is, can Jet make a run toward the front?
Yeah, that Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki team lost half of its riders at the very first round. Not what legendary tuner and team owner Mitch Payton wanted to see, but right now Seth Hamaker is making him forget about all that bad news.
Yes.
And we haven't even talked about Joe Shimoda, last week's third-place finisher. He was working his way up. I think he was back in about 11th the last time I saw him.
That's tough for him. Yes, they lost Cameron McAdoo, who crashed last week, as we continue to watch Swole and Hunter Lawrence battle it out. Oh, Hunter just able to make it happen for a little bit of contact.
Wow. Rubbing his racing, right? That was good. He had a little double kiss there to kind of push him out of the way. If the first one didn't work, he made sure to block him out of there, give him a little extra shoulder shot. Okay,
then there's Swole, then Hamaker, then Hampshire, Voland, Romano, Shimoda, now rounding out the top 10. I'm watching Hunter Lawrence. Here's what I noticed. Jet gets around someone, is able to pull away. Hunter catches him immediately when he makes the pass.
You know, we were talking about how smooth Hunter looked. Watching the two riders right now, it seems like Hunter's line selection, and just his overall position on the bike just looks a little bit more comfortable, a little better choices of line. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, we've all seen how fast Jet Lawrence can be, but Hunter's right now trying to get around the outside.
Let's send it down to Jason Thomas as the brothers battle. Hunter got him, JT. Go ahead.
I'm watching Jet lose time here, which is way out of character for him, and you've just got to think that illness, whatever he's fighting, is starting to affect him. He was moving forward, and then all of a sudden it's like he's hit a wall here, so it's going to be a really tough second half of the moto if that's the case.
Yeah, he had a cold coming into this race, had the sniffles. They didn't think it was anything super serious, but Hunter has absolutely eaten him up. Caught him quickly, passed him quickly, and now getting away quickly.
Yeah, this is Hunter just looks really good on the bike right now, and we talked about that. If he could just get a start, he had a great chance to win this thing. But you know, Jet is sliding back a little bit. Now we see that his distance between Michael Moseman is almost 5 seconds, so he did lose a couple seconds on that last lap to the leader.
Now Justin Cooper has settled back down. He had that bad lap of 2:14. He just ran a 2:12, so it must have been a mistake or a crash. He's running a solid pace, so it's still going to be a challenge. Hunter's taken over third from his brother. I don't know if he can get any further forward. What did you just see from Jet?
I just saw something I haven't seen in a while from Jet Lawrence, looking back over his shoulder. When a rider starts looking back over his shoulders, most people watching that have been involved in motocross, they understand what that means. That just psychologically means you're not paying attention, you're not focusing forward, and you're worried about who's going to pass you next.
All right, that might be a sign that Jet is not feeling right now, and now he's worried about defense more than offense. This guy is all offense. Michael Mosiman, what a ride.
Yeah, this would be just a moment in his career that he'll never forget. This ride is very good. We talked about the comfort there, talked about that in the pre-race show, that the two local riders. We haven't really seen much of Max Folan, but all of a sudden he somehow just showed up in 8th place. So we've got to look back and watch him. He's having a great ride too, right on the rear of RJ Hampshire.
Yeah, it's a good battle throughout the top 10, but right now it is Michael Mosiman going for what would be his first career moto win. Got his first main event win in Supercross earlier this year. To show you what this track is all about, got the GoPro cameras on those Red Bull Troy Lee Designs gas machines. This is Pierce Brown from qualifying earlier today with a GoPro course preview. This is where we head uphill, Brock, and you get to see just how taxing this is.
Yeah, for me, I just got a pure enjoyment the first few seconds there. It's like being at an F1 race and listening to the start, having those things turn all that RPM, but it's fun to listen to these 250s be wrung out by one of the top pros.
This was qualifying. We now hear Brown has crashed out of this first moto that's taking place right now. But his teammate is pulling away, almost a 7-second lead. Mosiman, it took him a little while. We saw him experimenting with lines to get swollen, and something clearly has clicked.
Yeah, this is an impressive ride, this mid-moto here.
Oh, there's Brown.
Yeah, we heard, unfortunately, it looks like he did crash out of the race. The Asterisk Medical Unit, Hunter Lawrence fell over.
Oh, wow, so that'll change things. That's Hampshire right behind him. Hampshire is in 7th, so it is shaking up big time. This was Hunter's shot to make up some points on his brother, and he might have thrown those points away.
Was that the announcer curse because I talked about how smooth he was and how good he looked? I think it could have been. But, this track, that's one thing about Hangtown, and particularly today. Woo, a little wash out there right there on the front, pushing it to the end there with Michael Mosiman. But this track, as it goes through the day, the ruts get deeper and deeper, and some of those ruts at the bottom get a little bit hard-packed and get a little slippery. And with the conditions we have today, which is fantastic, overcast skies and all, it's going to be a very challenging course. Second moto is going to be tough.
All right. Handling the first moto, though, is Michael Mosiman. Even bigger lead now, almost 8 seconds over Justin Cooper. Try to figure out where Hunter Lawrence will land. He went from 3rd back to 6th. Jet Lawrence 3rd, Swole 4th, Hammaker 5th, and Michael Mosiman headed for history, looking for his first career moto win in front of his home state fans. And the drone footage showing us here, Mosiman just marching away. Cooper, he'd be glad to collect those second place points. That's still a step in the right direction for Justin Cooper if he can hold on for second. But Mosiman looks great right now.
I'll tell you right now, if you would have said before the moto at the 20-minute mark to Cooper, Justin Cooper, that you were going to have a 6-second lead over in Jet Lawrence and you was holding steady, I think you would have taken that all day long. But again, we talked about Jet not feeling very well, but just trying to salvage points and get out of here with maybe the points lead still.
Yep. As for Mosiman, now working his way into lap traffic. And we've seen him have the opportunity to win some motos before, threw it away with some crashes, had the same situation in Supercross. So, if you're Tyler Keefe or Will Hahn or anyone over there at that Troy Lee Designs Red Bull Gas team, it's not over till it's over.
And you just saw him right there. There was an inside rut that used to be the best line, and it got pretty darn deep, and he knew just to kind of pop out of the inside rut at the beginning of it, take the middle rut, not to drop down into that deep cavernous mess that he would have entered. And it's just local knowledge as the track develops throughout the race. He knows when to move around and when not to.
Okay. Yep, he's got all the tricks up his sleeve. Did it again?
Yep, inside of the main rut. He's just finding the lines. He kind of knows when to ride the shoulder of it. You can see it from this drone footage right here. It's a beautiful view. And the track see the terrain changes there. This is a big drop down, fully off camber corner right there. You can see the different kind of dirts with a different color. This is the best. Honestly, I've been coming here since the 70s. This is the best I've ever seen this track look.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. Motosport.com. Make your next ride your best ride. And by Monster Energy. Unleash the beast.
Beautiful view here. The Hangtown Motocross Classic 50th anniversary season of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. And what a way to get this day started. The home track specialist, Michael Mosiman, he got the lead about halfway through this one. The crowd exploded. I talked to him this morning and I said, do we consider this your home track? And he said, absolutely. Raced a ton of local races here. Now, sometimes the key is that the local track, they change it so much, especially with the soil prep, that it doesn't feel like the local track when you're here on the big pro national weekend. But he said, no, it does feel like the track I grew up on, and that's certainly helping.
Right now, we're definitely seeing the 7th and 8th place rider. You got Joe Shimoda and Max Bolin kind of battling back and forth for the youngsters, and then you got Hunter Lawrence back working his way up from that tip over in 6th place. But Seth Hammaker, you got what do you see there?
It's amazing, right? So he had barely ridden motocross. He was really off the radar after a big injury in Supercross that cost him after the second race of the year a lot of bike time. Fastest qualifier last week. You can get lucky once, right? But he was fast in the next session. He was fast in the first moto. He's fast again this week. I think you really have something brewing here. And you said that team needs it. They've lost Cameron McAdoo to injury, and now Austin Faulkner is back out with a recurring shoulder problem. So Hammaker's carrying the flag for them right now.
Yep, he and Joe Shimoda, the two riders that were kind of maybe the unlikely two leaders of the pro circuit team are now stepped up and are carrying the flag.
Battle is on. Swole had his hands full with Hunter Lawrence earlier in this moto, and they're back.
It's Bougie Day all over again. It's like, hey, didn't I see you before?
Hunter had made the pass and went down, and he's salvaging some points, trying to get from 5th to 4th. What a ride from Swole. Again, they did not know if he'd be able to ride this weekend.
Gosh,
and he's looking for top 5.
He just looks really, really good. That's could be the shocker of the moto to me, honestly. I kind of expected Michael Mosiman. We talked about it pre-show, that he would be a threat, and then to have Swole ride this well here. Again, he's a Florida boy. He's not supposed to do this.
Hunter's trying everything. He went from outside now to outside. Can he edge him out of the bottom of the hill? And that's what you're saying. He got leave his brakes off and try to accelerate downhill.
A little unknown secret. When I was a kid, I grew up racing Honda Elsinores, and I always dreamed about being Marty Smith's teammate and riding one of those fire engine red Hondas. And ever since they took this 250 team into in-house with the HRC bikes, those things just look. I just want to ride one. They look so. They look so good. They just look. Both of the Lawrence brothers look fantastic on them, but the bikes look good and they run good. Good effort by Team Honda.
Hey, we have 4 minutes and 2 laps left. We might see the two Hondas together again. Hunter's starting to close in again on his brother. Hey, you're watching Live Motocross here on MAV TV. Also, we collect and cover the Arco Menard Series. It's the fastest short track on the planet, Iowa Speedway. Arco Menard's Championship Series fight is headed there. So watch the Calypso Lemonade 150 next Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on MAV TV, Motorsports Network. So here we go. Lawrence brothers might be battling again as Hunter is trying to catch his brother Jet for the second time. He'd already made the pass and then he went down. And look, yeah, they're brothers, they're teammates, but this is a title fight.
Yeah, they are definitely battling. This is 24 individual races that make up the championship. We talk about overalls, and to me, for me personally, overalls didn't really mean anything. It's the motos, because those are the ones you earn your points, and that's what earns you the championship. So we've only got, I think, 4 laps, and there should be 4 laps left, and they're entering their 4th lap to go. So we'll see what happens. Mosiman looks comfortable out there. Don't want to jinx him either, but it's going to be interesting to see if Hunter can actually make a run on his brother.
I passed him earlier. This is for 3rd and 4th. You can see Hunter closing the gap. Jet came into this race. We're at a cold. Nothing really, really serious, but it might have had an effect, or maybe not. You really don't want to draw too many conclusions from round 1 of a series. things do change often drastically. You get to round 2. Obviously, Michael Mosiman's a whole new man, and Justin Cooper has a lot more staying power today than he did last week when he went from leading the first moto to barely able to hold on for a top 10.
When you're struggling, when you're a little bit ill, you're not really physically up to it, and then we're fortunate the weather's not real hot, because when you have a cold and you're racing in the real hot temperatures like that, it can be really miserable. But remember, we're just in the first moto right here, so he has to come back out for the second moto in no time at all, and Caroli talked about that, how minimal time there is between motos. Jet Lawrence is going to have to come back out here and do this all over again, so if he's a little low on energy right now, it can really show up in the second moto.
Well, look, if anybody knows what his exact condition is, it's going to be his brother. Riders like to keep secrets from each other, but I don't think he's going to be able to keep secrets. So I've got to imagine Hunter also knows he's vulnerable, and this is an opportunity I've got to take advantage of.
I think you're exactly right. It's a good call on that, and it's he knows he has to push here. He's got to catch up to his brother and try to make a move, because these are points that matter. These are a couple points that could come down to the end of the championship.
Justin Cooper hanging strong in second. We'll give you the split screen here with our Thor battle box so we can keep up with all the action. That is your leader, Michael Mosiman, trying to get his first career moto win. Probably going to be 2 to 3 laps to go here, depending on when he hits the finish line. The countdown clock almost expired.
Yep, we got about 1 minute left, so he's going to do a full lap. And with the 2:15-ish lap times, he's got 3 to go.
And then you can watch the Thor battle box to give you an idea of this battle, which is the Lawrence brothers. Hunter's just inching up, getting a little closer every time we see him.
Yeah, he's definitely closing in now. He's it's easier to be, not to, a little pun intended there, but it is easier to be the hunter, hunter than it is the hunted.
Yes, he's going to take advantage of that. Yeah, he's on the hunt right now. Is Hunter. Gap almost down to nothing. Now look, Hunter's had to make enough passes in this moto. He's got to know where some of the alternate lines are. He's had to work his way forward once already.
Yes, absolutely. And as the race continues on, more lines develop, and Hunter's had to visit just about every one of them, I think.
All right, so the hunt is on for the final podium spot. Justin Cooper all alone in second, and Michael Mosiman trying to get his first career victory. Now this is the battle behind. It's a 3-rider duel. Swole, Hammaker, and Shimoda is now in the picture.
And I think Shimoda might have made the pass on Hammaker there. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell on the screen, but hey, 2 green bikes up there. That's got to make Mitch Payton happy over at the Pro Circuit camp. And then Jalek Swole is really, we talked about, putting in a heck of a ride for a boy from Florida and just coming through here. So
Swole went wide. I thought the pass was made. He was just able to hold on as you continue to watch Hunter and Jet Lawrence battle. And the left side of this Thor battle box. This is great stuff here. Now that we have the drone camera, we can give you the split screens. Swole, he has ridden very well under pressure today, although every time you think they made the pass, he's able to hold it. There it is, the mistake that Shimoda needed.
Yep, there it was. As soon as Shimoda got the rear wheel on the ground, got the power to the ground, got able to squirt past him. But that is the same corner that Hunter Lawrence tried multiple times on Jalek there and was not able to successfully make the pass. And this section right here is getting tricky. This is the new uphill. That's 3 stories up easily and around the old legendary oak tree at the top of the hill there. But it's that's a big elevator. It's like hitting the button on a high-rise elevator.
And I'm noticing they're not really cleaning the backside of that jump. They're kind of slapping down, hitting pretty hard.
And it's completely blind. When the bottom of it's just like a step up. When I first saw this yesterday,
Swole goes down.
Cross-rutted, it looked like at the base of that wall.
He put the hands up because he's in a blind jump there. He just wants to make sure everybody knows he's down. Man, what a great moto he had going, and now it's going to be tough to even cling to the top 5. It was him and Hammaker who came together.
Yeah, you can see on the side of that jump, that is a face like a wall jump that we see in Supercross. And there you can see right, oh boy, completely tangled and cross-rutted. Come together off the old finish line jump. Oh, yeah, he gets into the rut, a little bit of a cross rut. It looks like they had contact, and then Jalek Swole, the handlebars yanked out of his hand. But that jump is just like a Supercross wall jump, and you can see the flagger on the side. He was really just almost hanging on the side of that hill. It's a lot steeper than it appears on the screen.
Jet Lawrence digging down deep. Hunter got to him about a lap and a half ago, but has not been able to get any closer, and now we are within 2 laps to go. So this is going to be an all-out sprint. Jet going to leave it all out on the track in an attempt to hold his brother off.
Yeah, he's got a lap and a half basically to hold him off right here, and I think that's got to be in his tank, but Hunter's not going to settle unless he really pushes real hard. Obviously, he wants this pass, but it is his brother, so he's probably going to have a little bit less aggression if it does come to that, later in the lap.
Yeah, we might not see the contact we just saw from Hammaker and Swole, and that's the way Hunter's going to have to play it here. It's the last battle on the track after Shimoda and Hammaker made their way by Swole. Levi Kitchen did not see him off the start. He's been struggling mightily off the gate in the early season, but he is up to 7th ahead of Volan Swole after he picked himself up 9th, and Romano is 10th, and white flag is going to be in sight here.
Yep, we've got a lapped rider in between the two Lawrence brothers right now. It's just exactly what Jet was needing. So they're coming around. You can see our leader, Michael Mosman, taking the white flag, and this is just what he'd hoped for. Have a nice, comfortable lead. It's, kind of down to 5.6 seconds there, 6 seconds here. It's a little bit, maybe Cooper's gaining, or let's see the lap times. Looks like Mosman might have slipped back a little bit, but that's enough. I'd like to have a 5-second lead leading the last lap. How about you?
Well, you've got to imagine he's managing it a little bit, right?
Yeah, he is. He knows he's got another moto ahead of him. At this point right now, you do manage your energy output, and then you've got to get ready for that second moto. So you're not going to lay it all on the line for no reason if you've got a 5-second lead.
Hunter is pushing Jet, and because of that, they have started to close the gap on Justin Cooper. I don't know if there'll be enough time for them to get him, but they can see him up ahead with a half a lap to go. So Jet's definitely stepped up the game under fire here.
He has, and you're heading up the big uphill right here. That's quite a little pop right there, that double. It doesn't look that long on camera, but it's a pretty good shot.
As they come back downhill, again, 2 laps ago, it looked like the pass was inevitable.
You see how rough that's getting? Look at that, Jason. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's changed a lot since it was earlier in the day. So here it is, final stretch run. Michael Mosman looking for his first career moto win. Justin Cooper, the team said the goal was to beat Jet in at least one moto today. They almost have it done with the checkered flag almost in sight, and Hunter's not giving up on it for third.
No, actually, Hunter used that lapped rider to his advantage. It just made Jet check up a little bit, and then look at his jump to the inside. Look at that alternative line. That's a nice line he just found. See, that's what experience that Hunter has. He's just a good line selector, just a quarter.
I did not see that line.
No, quarter lap. He found a line where there wasn't one, but he's got a quarter lap left, and he's trying to get it, and Jet's knows he's only got a quarter lap. He's just going to hold him off.
And Cooper, who is on cruise control, just trying to bring it home for second. They are closing and closing and closing on him, but there's only about 3 corners left in this one. Michael Mosman looking for his first ever moto win. Great battle, I would say now, for second, third, and fourth. They've got Cooper in sight. But here it is, 1 corner away. Home race and first ever moto win for Michael Mosman.
There's a tip of the hat right there. Good job. And then right here we see the Lawrence brothers coming across in third and fourth, and then I think we're waiting for Joe Shimoda, right?
Hunter's got to be bummed. He had made his way up to third and was going to try to make a run at Cooper, and then he tipped over, and in the end is going to have to settle for fourth. Good battle down the stretch between the Lawrences. But what can you say about Michael Mosman? If you're going to do it here.
Do it in front of your family, your friends, and all the people that have supported you the whole time. So it's amazing finish. Great ride, truly, just a really, really excellent ride there. And hats off to Jet too, not feeling his 100% by any means, and he ends up getting a podium there. So that's what you do. That's how you win championships.
And some big encouragement. You could see Justin Cooper from his crew. A much better day. Hey, there's Michael's brother Josh, who's going to race the 450 class of the next moto. Journalist now for Motocross Action magazine.
Yep, rode a Honda last week, I think. Riding to ride a Kawasaki this week. He's fully testing all those 450s. Yeah. So that's a proud moment there. Talking about the brothers, we talk about the Lawrence brothers a lot, obviously, but there's 2 brothers right there that dearly love each other, obviously, and grew up racing and riding dirt bikes, and what a family sport motocross is.
Yep, and now reaching the pinnacle, Michael Mosman has his first moto win, and he does it at Hangtown. And an hour from now, going to focus in on trying to get his first ever overall win. And that was really cool. First person he gets greeted there under the tent is his brother Josh, who's got his gear on because he's ready to go racing as well. All right, so we will celebrate with Michael Mosman, who always has some good analysis from the racetrack, regardless of his result. Take a win. This should be a really fun one. We'll be right back to talk to him after this.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source. Honda, celebrating 50 years of off-road dominance. And by Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive.
Hangtown Hill people had plenty to watch. Now they're headed to probably get some refreshments. After our first moto of the day is complete. Awesome crowd here. And here's the action that they got to see. We'll give you the Lucas Oil race recap of 250 Moto 1 that was just completed. Here are the highlights of that one. So the first gate drop of the day. Justin Cooper needed some momentum after a rough season opener. This is how you turn things around. Get yourself a whole shot.
It is. I mean, he did a great job getting around. He's known for his good starts, but last week it just didn't seem to have it to be able to go the whole pace 30 minutes, and today he showed us different.
It was better this time. Battling it out with Jalik Swall. Michael Mosman on the 29 to come together here early with Jet Lawrence, take over the number 3 spot, and then about halfway to the moto, he caught fire.
Yeah, we didn't even see where that came from, honestly. He just laid down his best lap of the race and made a great pass, and then just kind of gapped 32 and took over the lead.
So then the Lawrence brothers were battling just around the top 5. There's Hunter on the 96. Will make the move on his brother Jet and make the pass pretty quickly. Things were going his way, but then a little bit later in the moto, he would go down.
Yeah, he's got to be kicking himself for doing this right here. It's like he had it in the bag, and then to do that, he had a great chance for probably at least a second place, giving Justin Cooper some static. At the finish, he could have maybe made the move, but he didn't. Just that tip over.
He'd end up 4th, Jet Lawrence 3rd, Cooper 2nd, and there it is. First career moto win for Michael Mosman. That hot lap that he put in when he took the lead, he ran at 2:09. No one else even got into the 2:10s in that moto, almost 2 seconds faster than anyone else in that race. So this should be a very popular moto winner. This is his home track. Let's send it down to Jason Thomas.
Michael Mosman, your first moto winner at his home track. Now, you told us before the season that your goal was to win 5 races. I was one of the people chuckling, maybe I shouldn't have been. You're halfway to your first one. Tell us about it.
Oh, man, a doubter here. You know what? It's just so awesome to be here and amongst the hometown fans, hometown crowd. They were cheering me on all around the track. I hear you guys out there. It's awesome. Yeah, keep it going. And just so honored and blessed to be able to get it done here, and look forward to more throughout the season. You know what? I think I came in under the radar. I've been under the radar for the last 10 years, it seems like. And so it's good to get a win, and hope to continue to back it up. And just a huge shout out to the team. They've put in so much effort. We went testing on Wednesday and made some adjustments that, really I think is put me in a really sweet spot, a comfort spot. And so super excited, super thankful to do it here. And super thankful for my team and everyone, my family, my mom and dad are here, a bunch of my friends are here. It's awesome. So thank you, everyone.
So we've had 2 my big question is, last week, a 9.4 with a gigantic crash in qualifying practice. Was that the difference? Was it the testing, or is it more being comfortable with this particular racetrack?
It's a little bit of both. I think that I had a really good speed in the second one. I was hurting bad last week. Yeah, I think most people here in the crowd probably saw it, and that was a rough crash, and I was hurting pretty good. And I had been sick the week before, and I'm not gonna, I don't broadcast that before, but there were certain things, and so to come out of there 5th place, I was stoked, and that allowed me to go out for opening ceremonies here. So I was stoked on that, and I feel like I showed a lot of heart last week, and I think the speed was there, and just this track, the fans cheering me on, the bike, everything, it all needs to come together to get a performance like this.
And there is the performance. So, man, actually 5th last week, now that we know all the adversity he had to deal with, throwing a moto win here. Yeah, he did make some waves when he said the goal this year is 5 wins, but maybe that's not as far-fetched as we thought.
You got to have confidence in yourself. If you don't have confidence in yourself, who's going to have confidence in you? And so he proved it right here, and it was a good place for him to get back on track after a tough start.
Joe Shimoda came from nowhere. He was way back early to finish up in 5th. Didn't see much of Styles Robertson in that one. Kind of a similar story for him, but he was able to rally back to 11th. That's 11 through 20 that you're looking at right there. Oh, RJ Hampshire all the way back in 16th. He's fighting in the top 5 for a while. This is just outside the points-paying positions. Stank Dog Jared Steinke is in 30th. And this will be your full 40 rider field here. Luca Marcellesi, one of the rookies, finishes up in 31st. Slade Smith, who had a big crash last weekend, back in action 35th. That's your field. Let's send it down to Jason Thomas.
So Justin Cooper got off to one of his patented hole shots. This week, stayed at the front, finishes second. I know you probably wanted to get the win, but we are miles ahead of where we were a week ago.
Yeah, for sure wanted to get the win, but yeah, I told you before I wanted to get out front and just fight out up there. It was pretty bad last weekend, falling back that far, but yeah, I just wasn't clicking with the bike, and we did a lot of testing this week. It's paid off. We still don't have it perfect. This track's pretty tough today, so we're going to make a few changes for the second moto, and I think we're going to be able to have another good moto. Hopefully get out front again, and yeah, just excited to be back racing. I miss it a lot. Excited to see all the fans, and yeah, it's good to be back behind the gate. We'll keep building from here. It's been a long journey with this foot, and it was one of the low points in my career. So it was tough, and to get back to this point is definitely rewarding for me. And just I got to give it up to the whole team. My fiance Jillian, she took me through this injury, and it's our 5 years today. So happy anniversary to her, and let's get back up front for the second one and try to fight for this win.
All right, that's Justin Cooper. Now, we mentioned that Jet Lawrence is under the weather. He elected not to go to the podium, so we won't have an interview with our third-place rider who is not feeling well today. Here's your Honda upcoming schedule. Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. We go to Thunder Valley near Denver, Colorado next weekend. Then High Point, Pennsylvania. Weekend off. Then it's Redbud in Southwick in Massachusetts. Minnesota, Washougal, Washington, Unadilla, New York. Throughout August, Budds Creek Ironman, and back to California for our finale. So 1 hour down, one race done. Hey, we got a new winner already there, Brock.
That's awesome. I love to see the parity in our sport. I want to see a lot of different guys up there battling for the win.
We will see if Michael Mosman can get that overall win later today in the 250s. Our 450 Moto 1 is coming up next here on MAV TV and streaming on MAV TV Plus. For Brock Glover and Jason Thomas, I'm Jason Wygant. Stay with us, and congrats to Michael Mosman.